Today's podcast is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo. I recently joined as a member, and you can too. Apply today to become a member and immediately be connected with advertisers that fit your audience. That's podgo.co at podgo.co. And when you go to apply and they ask you, how did you hear about Podgo? Make sure you tell them that the Vault Classic Music Review sent you.
Welcome to the Vault Podcast, Classic Music Reviews, presented by IV Creative. Now, here's your hosts, B. Cox and the crew.
Greetings and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Vault Podcast, Classic Music Reviews, presented by IV Creative. It's a perspective on the classics from a fresh point of view. We appreciate you for taking your time and lending your ears to our perspective. You could be anywhere listening to anything, but you're right here with us, so we thank you. With you today is yours truly, B. Cox, and with me I have the crew, comprised of these fine gentlemen joining me here once again. Of course, we have with me my guy, my sidekick, of course, and the creator of the Raw Sex Podcast, Dominique Marks. Of course, you make sure you check the Raw Sex Podcast, usually every Friday. My man just made a big jump just now. Got some big things planned for 2021. And, you know, hey, we got some big surprises lined up. So I think y'all be pleasantly surprised when the new year comes around. Y'all see what y'all got, man. Make sure y'all checking them out, man. Following Raw Sex on IG and on Twitter. And make sure you're listening and subscribing. So go ahead and holler at them. And, of course, our boy J.O. here is with us in the building as well. Jay, of course, we were just talking about the verses between E40 and Too Short, and I know my man Jay had to tune in, so you know he was giving me his synopsis of that, but definitely good things going on there. We want to make sure that we sit while we're here and have the opportunity that we hope that you all had a good Christmas. For those of you who celebrate and the holiday season is going well, we want to make sure that all of y'all are being safe no matter where you are in the world, that you're being at home, being safe, and that you're staying healthy, and that you're here again in 2021. So thank you all once again. So here we are, y'all. This is the Vault. It's been a heck of a 2020 in so many different ways, and today we have a bonus segment. Today, as a part of our year-ending series, we are doing none other than wrapping up our year of reviews. And this year we covered albums from 1990, from 1995, and 2000. And now we're going to go ahead and put our rankings of these albums that we reviewed so far this year. And I got Jay and Damo here to do it with me, of course, because it wouldn't be right if they weren't here. So, guys, top five, man. This is the thing when you ever come to making lists, they're never easy. And I'm glad we got a chance to come together and do this. So we're actually going to go ahead and get into it. So what we have on each one of our lists is going to go the following. We'll have an honorable mention list for anything that you want to kind of put in that doesn't quite make the cut of the top five, but still worthy of mention. And then, of course, we'll go down from 5 to 1. And we're going to start with the oldest year first, and we'll start with 1990. And, of course, 30 years ago. Lots of good albums that we had there. Obviously, a banner year for the genre. So a lot of great things came out, and a lot of memorable albums came out. So I'll go ahead and I'll start with you, Damo, for 1990. What have you? We'll start, of course, with your honorable mention, and then you can give us your top five from 5 to 1.
Well, I didn't give no honorable mention.
Okay.
The ones we did for 1990.
Okay.
But I'll give you my top five. At 5, I will give you, Brand Nubian, One for All.
Okay.
Number 4, LL Cool J, Mama Said Knock You Out album.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3, Ice Cube, America's Most Wanted.
Okay.
Number 2, Eric B, Let the Rhythm Hit Him.
Okay.
And number 1, Tribe.
Okay.
People Instinctive Travels in Their Path for Rhythm. That's the way I looked at how we broke down those albums this year. And, going back listening to them, of course, 30 years ago. Nigga was 7 years old. So
yeah. I
wasn't listening to no rap music at 7.
Right.
It wasn't until
Interesting.
we have this platform like the Vault, where you go back and listen to some albums you ain't never heard before. You've heard the singles on maybe MTV and BET, the box, the jukebox that we had back in the day when they had some of these videos up. You'll see them on there, the little singles, but the albums wasn't until we sat down and broke them down, and I heard some of these albums and listening to them. That's the way, that's my top 5.
Okay. Interesting. I'll go back to that in a little bit because I noticed an omission from your list, but we'll get back to that though once we wrap this year up. So I'll go ahead and I'll start with you, Jay. What about you? What are your honorable mentions and top 5s from 5 to 1 from 1990?
I got 2 honorable mentions. I got Brand New being One for All and Lord Finesse and DJ Mike Funky Technician.
Okay.
And then for me, for number 5, I put Eric B. and Rakim. Number 4, Public Enemy. Number 3, Ice Cube. 2, A Tribe Called Quest. And the number 1, I got LL.
Okay. Mama said knock you out. So you had, okay. All right. So at 5 you had, again, what was it? Was it Public Enemy that you had number 5?
No, Eric B. and Rakim.
Eric B. and Rakim at number 5. You let the rhythm hit on at number 5. Public Enemy at number 4.
Then Cube at 3.
Cube at 3, and then number 2, Tribe, and then 1, LL. Okay.
Right.
Now, what was your methodology in then ranking them that way? Like, how did you feel as far as like maybe putting the different albums or whatever?
I mean, Graham was just like a little bit older than Dom, but I mean, like, I wasn't at the age right there in 1990 where I was like, running to like Nobody Beats the Wiz, the same goodie, date myself, all you youngins out there.
Right. Yeah.
I think about the singles and then like going back and listening to them, like, along with the singles, I'm thinking, okay, like, has this one aged well? Maybe this one has like a message that's still relevant today. Like, the lyrical content, does it still stand up? So that's what I kind of like, that's what the main factors were as far as like my top 5 and even the honorable mentions. I mean, honestly, Brand New could have been honorable mention, but like, going back to our conversation, Brian, like, that your faking aspect kind of knocked it out of the top 5. So,
I definitely hear you.
Like you said, if you in New York, there's no reason you should have to fake on a record. West Coast artists I could see, but
nah.
New York, you get ride your ass right there in Flatbush, Brooklyn, and find a Jamaican. Like
find
you
a
said,
Jamaican,
so.
right, and to find somebody proper to do it. Exactly.
Right.
Cool, man. Mine is actually, I have a point to that to bring back to you as well, and we'll bring it back once we wrap up the year. But my list goes as follows. My honorable mention is the same as you, Jay. Honorable mention was Lord Finesse and DJ Mike Smooth, Funky Technician. And also my other honorable mention was Brand New being One for All. Number 5, Tribe Called Quest, People Instinctive Travels and Their Paths of Rhythms. Number 4, Public Enemy, Fear of a Black Planet. Number 3, Eric B. and Rakim, Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em. Number 2, Mama Said Knock You Out, LL Cool J. And my number 1 album for 1990 is Ice Cube's America's Most Wanted. So that's my list. And let me tell you the difficulty I sort of had in putting this list together. I sort of cheated a little bit and went into like their respective discographies. And when it came to Tribe in regards to their albums, this to me has been regarded by many people as their classic, but to me I think it's a distinct third for me in their discography. Third or fourth, depending on what day you ask me. I thought Fear of a Black Planet was great, and I think that this is the album that made Public Enemy, I think, like the popular group amongst, the masses because of all the hits that came on this album. And the Bomb Squad did a great job of doing production on this too. Let the Rhythm Hit 'Em is a great album. It speaks for itself. We talked about Jay, Mama Said Knock You Out, and that just, Molly Mall, LL Cool J together just doing their thing. And America's Most speaks for itself because that was Ice Cube by himself, and, he actually teamed up with the Bomb Squad to make, one of the landmark albums in West Coast hip-hop, and hip-hop, period. So that's the way I did them. So there we are, all 3 of our list. I just had a couple of things that I noticed. So Damo, I noticed that you didn't have Public Enemy on your top 5 at all. Any reason for that?
That might just be personal. I don't really.
You don't really like Public Enemy like that?
Nah,
yeah.
nah,
Okay.
That's more that reason why.
I understand. I kind of figured that was the case because no doubt, definitely. And then Jay, I noticed I would have bet money that I thought Cube would have been at your number 1 spot for this year. You know what I'm saying? That was a little bit of a surprise for me.
Yeah, I'm surprised me and him both had at 3.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, yeah, of course, like, what I'm saying, Cube's actually like one of my top lyricists, just ever would ever list. But I mean, like, yeah, I just couldn't, rank that over, like, like LL or Tribe. Like,
Yeah.
Mama said knock you out. Like, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and nothing against, like, like because I think the Bomb Squad like work with Cube on America's Most Wanted too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But like, and I can't say it's better than Marley Marl's production.
Got you. Got you.
And then like with Tribe, like that Bonita Applebum joint, like that's just a vibe. Like,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
I got you. I got
those
you.
like two big like factors that really like I had to consider. So yes, I got him at number 3.
Cool. Okay. Well, that's the great thing about the list is I love to see the order that we put things in and how we regard things. So that's I got a couple of surprises, but it makes sense though. So there we are, 1990, man, and we're gonna move on now to 95. And again, same thing. We'll give honorable mentions and then albums from 5 to 1. So I'll start this time with you, Jay. So your 95 honorable mentions and your top 5.
Okay, and I actually got 3 honorable mentions for 95. So
Okay.
Got Naughty by Nature, Poverty's Paradise.
Mm-hmm.
I got The Roots, Do You Want More? And I got AZ, Do or Die as far as my honorable mentions. Now, as far as top 5, number 5, I got Smith & Wesson, The Shining.
Okay.
Then I got Tupac, Me Against the World.
Okay.
And then here's the crucial part. So for number 3, I put Mobb Deep, The Infamous. Then number 2, I got GZA for Liquid Swords. And then number one, I got Raekwon, Only with Cuban Links, a.k.a. Purple Tape. So.
Good list. Good list and good sequencing. Very cool, man. So what was your difficulty? Because I think I talked to you about this before we got on.
Right.
And ranking those top 3. Like what went into putting one versus over the other? Because that was a difficulty. I'll speak on mine in a minute as well.
So for me, like, and I guess like it was more so difficult as far as like the last 3 or the number. I'm saying like number 1 through 3. So difficult to me is like that Mobb Deep production. Like Havoc was in the zone with that joint. Like I ain't gonna say I'm not gonna say he was better than RZA, but he definitely give RZA a run for his money. And of course, RZA had production on GZA and Raekwon's album, along with like other producers from the Wu. But then, and matter of fact, even collaboration with Raekwon on what I'm saying on the Infamous.
Mm-hmm.
So I just had to think about that, and I just think about like what I'm saying, because like those 3 albums I still listen to today. So
yeah,
I just think about like which ones I'll grab first, like one over the other, and then just like what I'm saying, overall impact. Yeah, like I rocks with GZA, but. What people talk about when they say that Purple Tape, right?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. That speaks for itself. Exactly.
So I was like, yeah, and plus, I guess that one like really stuck out with me because, like, when I actually got the train back in '95 on tape, actual cassette tape for you younger ones out there, like,
yeah.
I think I mentioned on the Jane before, like, it just tripped me out. The Jane was purple. I'm like, I thought I got ripped off at the store, like, some kind of shady stuff are they into up here? But then, like, I forgot if I got it. I think I got it at the Wiz, like right there on University Boulevard, too, if I'm not mistaken. But like,
okay,
man, y'all usually come through. What's this? But then I listen to him like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Shit's official.
True. Yeah. Well, good list, man. That is
difficult, nonetheless.
Yeah, very difficult. I think this is probably for me the most difficult year out of all of them to rank for me. I'll give my list second. So for 95, my honorable mentions, I also have 3. Mine are a little bit different than yours, Jay. I have honorable mention, Bone East 1999 Eternal, AZ, Do or Die, and The Roots, Do You Want More. Those are my honorable mentions. For my top 5, for number 5, I have Smith & Wesson, The Shining. Number 4, I got Tupac's Me Against the World. Number 3, I have GZA, Liquid Swords. Number 2, I have Mobb Deep, The Infamous. And of course, number 1, I have Only Built for Cuban Links by Raekwon, The Purple Tape. That's my top 5. So for me, I agonized over doing those top 3. And even the honorable mentions, because I wanted to put Poverty's Paradise into my honorable mentions, and it's a dope album, but I thought that those 3, to me, I think I put in more higher regard than I did on Poverty's Paradise. And then also, I think when it comes to Poverty's Paradise, it's probably, to me, only their 3rd best album. I do think, though, that Tretch stepped up lyrically his game definitely on Poverty's Paradise, but nonetheless, I wanted to include those 3. Getting the Shining and Me Against the World was one thing, but to me, it really boiled down for me as far as like what I really thought was better. And Liquid Swords, Infamous, and Purple Tape are all 3 incredible albums. But I was just sort of had to go in as far as like what I really thought was better. And, some people will probably look at me and be like, yo, you put Infamous over Liquid Swords. And I'm like, yeah, because, I think it's close between those 2, but I think Infamous is a little bit better. just because of the impact. I think Liquid Swords has a big impact, but I think the Infamous though, man, the impact is a little bit bigger than Liquid Swords by a hair, and then Purple Tape just speaks for itself. That's it. So, but this was tough, man. 95 was a tough year to rank, and it was even the honorable mentions. I went back and forth on what I was gonna do, but that's what I did. Yeah. So Damo, you're up next, man. You're 95 honorable mentions and your top 5.
Honorable mentions. I went with Jizza, Liquid Squad, Bone Thugs and Harmony, East 99, and AZ Do or Die.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, I went with The Roots, Do You Want More? Number 4, Cool G Rap, 456.
Okay.
Number 3, Tupac, Me Against the World. Number 2, Mobb Deep, Infamous, and hey, I guess we all thinking alike for real.
Yeah.
Number 1, Raekwon, Cuban Links. when Jay said it, I laughed. I said, shoot, it's been rare this year that we've been all on a chord or something.
Yeah.
And then when you said, I said, shit, we 3 for 3 again.
3 for 3 for number 1. Yeah.
But of course, I probably shocked some people because they probably thought I would have said Mobb Deep if y'all listened to some of the other episodes.
Yeah.
With the classics.
Yeah.
But hey, that Raekwon,
Yeah.
still the truth.
Yeah, I thought for sure that Infamous was going to be your number 1 because I was betting like just like with Jay, I would have bet that his number 1 would have been Cube. I would have bet that your number 1 would have been the Infamous though. But I get it, I understand. So the one thing I noticed is that you put Jizza, you put Liquid Swords actually in your honorable mention, and
It was hard.
Yeah, it was hard. Yeah, I get it.
95 is definitely a hard year because then, I never listened to Cool G Rap 456 before we came on here.
Yeah.
And after it changed my view on a lot of music I've listened to since then.
Okay.
So I had to give it the respect that I felt that it deserved.
Got it. Got you. Yeah, I think I remember you and I did that review, and we were talking about like, you listen to, like, you could hear it in some of his early albums, but then when you get to 95 and 456, you really see where a lot of dudes got their style from Cool G Rap, how he influenced a lot of people. And that definitely was a dope album, and he definitely was spitting some bars on there. So I get it. That was another surprise, is that you actually put that in your top 5. And it was hard for me not to include that in my honorable mentions. So, yeah.
I debated with that. I had it in honorable mention, and I was like, nah, I don't feel like I'm... From what I've heard, and I listened to it a couple of times since we did that episode, and I was like, yo, yeah, this joint was the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, definitely it was a banger, and something that I think got people to remind people as far as like, man, what his stature is in the game is, to me, I think one of the most influential lyricists of all time, because he influenced a lot of people that we grew up listening to. So yeah, well, cool, man, and that's 95, so that's hard. And another thing I'll add on here is that we're going to put on Twitter and on Instagram everybody's list, so we'll get everybody's list together, and we'll post it up, and we want to see the debate about some of this stuff, because we know a lot of folks have debates on this, and we want to be able to see what y'all got. So on we move to our last year, and this is more of a 2-part question. So we have actually hip-hop, and we have R&B. Now, I'll go ahead and start with 2000, and we'll start with me on hip hop, and I'll give you my honorable mentions and my top 5. So for 2000 hip hop, my honorable mentions: 3-6 Mafia, When the Smoke Clears, Dead Prez, Let's Get Free, and Slum Village, Fantastic Volume 2. Those are my honorable mentions. It's hard for me to have to put Slum Village in there, but my top 5, I felt like they had to go there instead of there. So my top 5. Number 5, Outkast, Stankonia. Number 4, Eminem, the Marshall Mathers LP. Number 3, Reflection Eternal, Train of Thought. Number 2, Common, Like Water for Chocolate. And number 1, Ghostface Killer, Supreme Clientele. So that's my honorable mention in my top 5. I really wanted to put Fantastic Volume 2 in my top 5, but when I was looking at the other albums, I was like, this is as great an album as this is, and as, classic as being able to hear the rhymes of Slum Village and the production of Jay Dilla. I didn't really think that it was better than any one of those albums overall than any of the rest that I put in here. And let me tell you what my struggle came with, Jay and Damo, is my number one and number two. Everybody who knows me knows I love Like Water for Chocolate. I do. I think it's actually, I think it's my favorite Common album. Even, I think I like it better than B, even though I think B may be a better overall album. But when we talk about Supreme Clientele, bruh, being objective with it, I really had to be like, all right, look, like Supreme Clientele is an amazing album. And for me to have to put anything over Like Water for Chocolate in a year like this, it had to be an album that had to basically be, you know, amazing. So I had to put it there at number one. That was my number one. So there we go. All right. So 2000. Well, actually, we'll start with you. I'll go with you here, Jay. What was your honorable mention in top five for 2000?
Okay, yes, I had two honorable mentions. So I had 3 6 Mafia, When the Smoke Clears, and Dead Prez, Let's Get Free. Mm-hmm. For number five, I actually put Black Rob.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying, number two was Eminem, Marshall Mathers LP. Number three, had to put that Common joint, Like Water for Chocolate. Mm-hmm. Two, I got Outkast, Stankonia, and then number one, I got Ghostface with that Supreme Clientele.
Okay. Interesting. Well, see, so you got Black Rob in your top five, Life Story in your top five. Interesting. What made you put that in the top five?
Yeah, it was actually when I went back and listened to it. I mean, because you know, I mean, I remember when it came out. Like I was towards like the end of my freshman year of college, and I went back and listened to it, and I guess like really got the messages of what he was talking about, which like really resonated. You know what I mean? Like, as far as just, you know, like really understand his struggle and just the whole thing, like overcoming struggle. So I was like, yeah, let me go ahead. This deserves to be up there. You know what I'm saying? So let me just go ahead and put him up there with like Black Rob, and then, you know, like for Eminem, of course, like, you know, Marshall Mathers LP. That, I mean, I think that just speaks for itself.
Yeah.
Not my number one, of course, but deserves to be up there. And then, you know what I'm saying, same thing with Common. I think, you know, just like he deserves to be up there. And then Outkast, Stankonia. I mean, just overall, that was just like a great album, you know, for 2000. I mean, matter of fact, I think them and Jay-Z probably like the biggest hits of 2000, like, you know, with Sorry Miss Jackson and you know what I'm saying, like, and they Give It To Me joint. So like, but then they had other cuts on there, like probably one of my top. It's kind of crazy to say this because he got so many verses. Like probably like one of my top Andre 3000 verses on that joint, Gangsta Shit. Yeah, because like just a line like, I'll pull your whole deck, fuck pulling your car. That joint just like
yeah,
just,
definitely
like, froze me. I was like, oh shit, like
true.
Never underestimated Down South from C's, but 3 Stacks will bring it to you.
He will, yeah. So, when he wanted to rap, back when he wanted to rap, he definitely could give it to you.
and then like, you know, Ghostface Killer, Supreme Clientele, just overall with that production, and then specifically this song Stroke of Death. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that beat just like freaking drives me nuts. Like trying to catch, like, to actually get on beat to that joint. Just like, you know how the joint sound, bro.
Yeah,
I mean,
of course. Yeah. Nah, definitely. I understand that. Yeah, Chris Rock said that Stroke of Death beat made you want to probably rob somebody, is what he said.
Yeah. Don't try to siphon it over that joint. You gonna, like, it will drive you mad.
Yeah, indeed. I hear you. Cool. All right, well, Damo, let's see what you got, man, for 2000 hip hop. Your honorable mentions in top five.
Well, I'm gonna change it up for y'all because I kind of did mine's different. Because I guess y'all will tell when I get into the list. Number five, or honorable mention, Eminem, the Marshall Mathers LP.
Okay.
3 6 Mafia, When the Smoke Clears. Common, Like Water, Like for Chocolate. So now y'all going to see why this ended up happening like that, because I misunderstood something. Number five, Ghostface, Supreme Clientele.
Okay.
Number four, Outkast, Stankonia. Number three, Music, Soul Child. I just want to sing. I thought we was mixing them together. What was the best album?
Okay.
So number two, I went D'Angelo, and number one, I went Jill Scott.
Okay.
I just put them both together. So I thought we was picking out
out
of the whole year which had the best albums.
Okay.
So
yeah. Okay.
that's why mine is different.
That's why yours is a little
only
bit
so
different.
4 on the
Okay.
R&B. I said, well, I guess they together, but. And if y'all can tell by my list, I'm an R&B nigga.
Yeah, of course. Well, we know that though. We understand and we know that. I get that. Yeah, cool. I hear that. Yeah, I mean, Understood. If I can see the way when you did it that way, I can kind of understand and see where it is that you're coming from. Okay.
When you said it, I was like, oh shit, I done mixed mine together.
Yeah. Okay. Definitely. All right. Well, I guess I can kind of go to my 2000 R&B list. Now, my R&B list went like this, and we had 4 albums that we picked towards them. So my R&B list was music, or number 4 was Music I Just Want to Sing. Now, number 3 was Who Was Jill Scott. My number 2 was Erykah Badu's Mama Gun, and of course, my number 1 was Voodoo. And anybody, of course, who knows me, that's not a surprise to you.
That didn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. So, and as a matter of fact, man, we've gotten a lot of good feedback on that Voodoo review, man. And Damo, I don't know if you remember, but the day we did that Voodoo review was the day that we found out that Kobe died. Yeah, you know. And it was a really eerie feeling doing that review on that day that Kobe died. You know, I was all ready to go. I was juiced because it was Voodoo, which is one of my favorite albums of all time of any genre, and that just like, you know, it was like a cold glass of water out of your sleep, you know, so on your face. But so Jay, did you do the R&B ranking for 2000?
Yeah, I did that one.
Okay, so what was yours?
Yeah. So basically, I did. For number 4 for me it was Music Soul Child. Mm-hmm. Number 3 for me was D'Angelo. Mm-hmm. Number 2 was Erykah Badu, and number 1 was Jill Scott. Okay. So you switch yours around. Yours is a little bit different than mine. We both have more music as 4, but number 3 you had Voodoo as number 3. Interesting how you did it that way. Well, I think the bigger question for me is ranking Mama's Gun and Who Was Jill Scott. You had Who Was Jill Scott over Mama's Gun. Why? Yeah, it's just like for me it was like more so, and definitely not taking anything away from Erykah Badu, but I just like the versatility on that with like Jill Scott. I just felt like, you know, she was expanding. I mean, it's neo soul, but she was expanding in different avenues as far as like, you know, that genre, like, you know, with It's Love with the Go-Go beat, of course, and then the joint One Is the Magic Number had to, like, you know, Pancho Villa. I'm pretty sure it's a better name for that, but like that, the Mexican type of like production with the Castanuelas and all like that.
Yeah,
like,
One Is the Magic Number. Yeah, okay.
I mean, and then just like ballads and upbeat joints, and it just seemed more versatile to me. So I had to put Jill Scott first.
I hear that. Cool. Well, there you guys have it. These are our top 5s for 2000s. Damo sort of combined his 2000 list. What we're going to do is we're going to put our list up on social media. I'll have it on my Instagram, and I also have it on Twitter for y'all to look at to see our list, and we'll go back and we'll compare. And, we'll put it up. We want to hear your output. We want to hear everything that you have to say about it. These are 3 of the most hotly contested years that I've seen on Twitter, especially this year because of the anniversaries. So we want to see your list. So when you see the post, man, make sure you put in the comments what your lists are. DM us, send us whatever, man. So holla at us. You see us on Instagram or Twitter. Let us know what it is that you like as far as our list and if you have something different. So that's our list, y'all. And, this is good. I really like it. I like the fact that we got such a variation of our list. They all weren't the same, but knowing us and knowing our taste as folks in the vault, I know that they weren't all going to be the same because we all got distinct taste in music, which is the reason why I like doing this show because, you're not going to get the same vanilla presentation from everybody. That's the reason the variation and the opinions and music is what helps makes this show great.
Yeah, if y'all fans of us, these lists should make sense to all of y'all.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
Y'all actual fans of the show and listen to it whenever we put them out every Monday and whenever we're all together, it makes perfect sense.
It does.
I mean, a couple curveballs in there, but for the most part, it makes sense. So.
It does make sense. Yeah, if you know the 3 of us, you've been listening to us all year and longer than a year now, so you know exactly how it goes down. So the one thing I do, man, before we close out, I do definitely, of course, I want to, of course, to say to the 2 of y'all, man, I appreciate both of y'all. Y'all, we family. We started out doing this thing just on a whim, and this podcast actually became a lot bigger than I thought any of us thought it would be. And I want to thank y'all for your commitment. And things haven't been easy. We started in my kitchen, inside of the kitchen at the kitchen table, having a couple of drinks and some beers and talking about music. And we ended up being recorded remotely over the internet, partially because of Rona and then because of other things happening. But I appreciate y'all, man, and I thank y'all for sticking here with me and helping this thing help it go. And the people will even say that respond to me on social media said the show's a lot different with you by yourself than you having the fellas on there as well, because they love to hear all three of us sort of together doing this, man. So thank y'all again. If I hadn't said it before, I know I say it, but I just wanted to come in and say thank y'all definitely for helping me, for being there with me, and man, for helping make it the show a success.
For sure.
Yeah, man. So
appreciate you for thinking of me to come on here.
Yeah, well, yeah, man. So I wanted to have folks on here that I have my music conversations that I know would appreciate doing a show like this. But next year, y'all better strap up, man, because next year we're doing 91, 96, and 2001. And I'll tell y'all, man, that list for 96 itself is daunting. And it's not just daunting for hip-hop, for both of y'all, right? It's hip-hop and R&B albums that I've looked at this list and I've been like, whoa. Oh, goodness, this is going to be a busy year next year. So
96 was a crucial year.
Yeah, 96 was a crucial year. So we got a lot of work to do, guys. I know y'all love for the task, man, but it's going to be fun reviewing a lot of these albums next year. So, let's strap in. Let's do this. Let's do everything else, man. Y'all, of course, man, enjoy y'all New Year's. Have a happy New Year. Here's to making 2021 a better year than 2020 was. And, things are moving in the right direction. So let's get it in. And that's going to wrap up yet another edition of The Vault. Please make sure you're checking us out on our host on Red Circle. You can also download, stream, and subscribe to The Vault Classic Music Reviews on any one of our streaming platforms. If you go to any one of our social media sites, you can go to our link tree in the bio and get to any one of our social media sites and all of our streaming platforms. You can get The Vault Classic Music Reviews on Instagram on @VaultCMR Podcast, on Twitter @Vault Classic, on YouTube and Facebook as well. You can search us by The Vault Classic Music Reviews Podcast. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel, like the Facebook page, interact with us on social media. We love the interaction when we get it from you guys, so please give it to us. We're going to get those lists out to y'all. We want to see and get your feedback and see what yours are. We do it here all for you. We appreciate all the support, and if you have a friend, tell a friend, and make sure that that friend tells a friend, as we always like to say. Always remember to keep your headphones on and your music loud, but not too loud. And as we close, we'd like to remind everyone to dream big, because dreams are the basis for creation. Always create, motivate, and elevate, because you were never destined or created to stay stationary in this life. And on that note, we say peace, and also happy holidays and happy New Year.
Thank you for listening and coming into The Vault. Please subscribe and follow us on Facebook at IV Creative and Instagram at IVECRE8.